We're back.
We are back. Happy
In
New
town.
Year. Hope you had a good Christmas. You know, holiday breaks, all that good stuff. Happy New Year. Monday Night Smoke returns.
Back in full effect, fam. I hope it, bro. I hope
Listen.
everyone is ready. I hope we're sitting down. Happy New Year's to everybody. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, we're sending a big Happy New Year's from the Hay Camp. Travis, how?
What did you say? From the Hay Camp.
The Hay Camp. What is saying? What's
So it's all going well, bro. Ain't no stopping us now. Ain't no stopping us now.
Ain't no stopping us now, bro.
Let me hit the roll call. Let me hit the roll call real quick, man. The New Year roll call. Man, like Stay Blessed, Be Real. Shout out Jack Scam. Shout out Flames Boxing, Off the Canvas, Maestro Boxing, Nimble A2. Man, like 8 Zest Raja, October Red, Rocky Ali, Nimble A2. Man, like Toyi, Thomas Doon, Chris Rock, Gavin DC, Mr. A, Muhammad, Buster Move, Aaron, Leonardo, Skyliner, H Big, Major K Dot, Chrissy Blue, Boxing P for P, JP. What's going on? What's going on?
Great defeaters, we've missed you. I've missed you lot. Like, on a serious, big and serious.
Yeah, man.
You lot are a big part of my life, fam. That's all I did. In this time away, yeah.
Mondays were different.
Bruv, my week's not complete. Let me be real with you, Travis. It's actually crazy. And there's so much to talk about, bruv. Boxers are like, it's like they knew it was on the break and they said, you know what?
Let's turn it up.
Let's go content, bruv.
I can't stand whenever we're not podding, something mad always happens.
Now AJ wants to sit down and do interview, fam.
Bro.
Now AJ wants to break down the Usyk.
Why is AJ sitting down in these weird locations to do interviews, fam? Oh, bro. There's so much happening, fam.
Yeah. But I'm ready. I'm ready to talk. So are you ready to go? Are we got the New Year's thing off? Are we good?
I'm ready to go, bro. I'm ready to go.
All right, let's go.
So there's a madness going on with Dillian White and Tyson Fury.
Total madness.
These men are trying to say that Dillian only deserves 20% of the peas. I don't even know how to process this. Because on one hand, I'm like, you know what? Regardless of whatever it is, take the thing, innit? But then Tyson Fury's on Twitter looking like he don't even want to fight Dillian White in the first place.
What the hell? Oh my God, no way.
What is this?
Nah, Tyson Fury, yeah. I could imagine. Let's talk about what Dillian done when he saw that post. He's punching the air in it. He's like, because he doesn't know.
Dillian at this point, yeah, sees a tweet like that and just thinks, these men make me sick, man. Because it's like, how much energy can he give to being twanged? He's been twanged so many years in a row now.
Again and again, it just won't stop. Sorry, 1 second. Let me make sure the overlay's there, fam.
And then obviously the whole boxing game is weird because right now Floyd is making a comeback. Floyd is fighting in February. Right. Floyd with hair is fighting in February and a beard. And he's fighting this I don't know, another YouTuber out in Dubai, I believe.
Yep.
One day we need to be able to just contact Floyd and be like, you know what, bro? We don't need any more from you.
Floyd is a funny one. In regards to like the decisions he makes. Like, and we can't remember before we were speculating on about his financial situation. Yeah. His financial situation is actually fine. His portfolio is good. Like, it's actually good. Before I used to worry about it because I think, I don't know if it's all adding up. Big man, it adds up. So right now, what are you doing this for? Like, maybe you just want more money.
When we say someone genuinely just enjoys fighting and attention, I think that's all this is. There's not more than that. It's not a deep dive.
I ain't gonna lie to you.
Bro, he's the type of brother. He's the type of brother that will come to your wedding and his chair will be right next to your main chair. And he's not even the best man, fam. He just knows he wants to be positioned where everyone can see that Floyd Mayweather's hair, fam.
No, because we saw it as
well. Bro, you got the main wedding table, yeah? Where everyone's sitting. His table's behind him and Leonard Ellaby.
What the hell? No, and we saw him do it before as well. When was that the Deontay Wilder fight? And then He walked in, but he noticed that he didn't get the same clamor that Tyson got. So he walked out and went another way around.
Bro, listen.
But then we need to put some respect on him because I think we're undervaluing how important Mayweather is to the people. Are you with me? Because I don't think you understand. Mayweather, yeah, he's important to the people, bro.
His impact is very different.
Let's take a look. Era.
After my God, I respected you. I respected you. After my God. I respected you. After my God. After my God.
You second to God, champ.
I will respect you. No. I didn't listen. I respect him. I'm sorry. I respect him.
Come on, for the nigga pass out. Take the picture before you pass out.
Yeah, get him before he pass out.
Yeah.
Only one.
Yo, we gotta take this guy everywhere.
Yeah.
Yo, champ.
He needs air.
He needs air.
Take the picture. Take the picture before you face.
That's my hero, right? That's my hero. One more.
It takes a man to take a lot to do this.
Yeah.
All right, why are you doing it?
Don't worry about it. Come on, I got you, all right?
This is outrageous, bro.
After my God.
After my God.
I'm gonna be after my God, and you be Mayweather. How you doing? After my God. I respect you.
All day.
After my God, though.
It's like I said before, you know, I'm a hell of a man, you know.
After my God, though.
And the thing is, you know, Floyd wasn't even being humble with it. He wasn't even like saying to him, I'm just a normal man. He was just saying, no, this is appropriate. This is necessary. This is correct. This is how you should greet me.
No, but we have to deep it though. Has that guy got a family? Because
Bro,
saying that,
it sounded like a woman was there saying, he only gets like this for Floyd. Like, it takes a lot to get like this. I'm like, yo, you still have a woman. Fam, bro, imagine you're in front of your woman and you meet another grown man and you're after my God.
No, with my daughter. No, with and Ian and my whole wife from.
Bro, the parents that raised you.
No, we're celeb crazy. We go celeb crazy, fam.
So what are you saying? Floyd is the Michael Jackson of this era?
He's the Michael Jackson of this era. I don't want to hear any more. I don't want to hear no more, bro.
It's one of the ones you go, show me the video of them man screaming over you like that if you're that guy.
Because no one's got that. I don't care. No, Canelo ain't even got that right now. We know he got payday. We know who he is, but it's different. So hold on. Before we get into more serious conversation, before this conversation gets more serious, yeah? Big man, I finally found the opponent for Jake Paul.
Who?
Because remember, Jake Paul, yeah? What Jake Paul's done to UFC and Dana and that is peak. They don't want to see him, yeah? But I found the official opponent. This guy is going to end it all, fam. This is where it all ends. This is where... Are you ready for it, fam?
Yeah.
Jason Derulo.
Oh, snap.
Jake,
all we need...
want those hands, bro.
All we need is Jake Paul to call him Usher, and it's over. It's cracking.
Bro, no, he's got hands. Let me not lie to you, yeah? Jason Derulo.
Listen, who knew? Who knew?
Bro, Jason.
Bro,
wait, let me get out
what you say. I didn't know this brother had hands.
What did you? When he told us, what did you say, fam?
But you know what it is,
wants to clarify the beef.
You got to really understand. This brother starts every one of his tunes saying his name. Jason Derulo. Like, he's been letting you know his name for years. So for you to call him Usher, he's like, no. Not my life's purpose. Not you going against my life's purpose.
But when you bring out a tune that's all about clarification, man said, what did you say, bro?
What you say?
Because it's on. All I'm saying right now, I want to see it.
Is that the energy you're on? Is that the energy you're on if somebody calls you Mo? Someone says, yo, Mo. Nah, this must have happened to him so many times for him to be this angry, fam. You know how angry you gotta be to just swing on the foot, like no correction. You didn't even say, "Yo, bro, don't violate." You just, nah, that's insane.
We're taking the piss now. Let's actually get to some. Let's get into
cool.
some. Oh shit.
Canelo and Charlo. It looks like Canelo has changed his mind on going to the cruiserweight division and fighting the big boys. He's decided, I'm just gonna smoke everybody that's my size whilst I'm here.
Yeah. This is interesting. How do you feel
bad
about
news
this
for
one?
my man still. It's bad news for my man. Charlo still, like,
the
way I look at it,
one.
Nobody Canelo size is beating Canelo.
Yeah.
So if he stays in his weight class and just rams around, it's over. No one's beating him.
Yeah, I agree. But then Caleb Plant put his name in the hat to fight one of the Charlos as well, which I like. I like Caleb needs to return.
I like it.
Yeah.
I didn't like when it sounded very end of the year-ish. Like the year can't start and we're in January, you're talking about end of the year, we could get this going. For me, that's crazy. Like, hit man with an April or a May, do you know what I mean? Or a light June. Man can't be like, yo, end of this year, let's go. Like, nah.
That's a training camp on top of a training camp.
That's 2-3 fights away.
Yeah. What else you got? There. What else you got for me though, man? This is
so the AJ interview that he did,
man.
Obviously that interview was interesting, but you know, it's not so much what he said in his video. For me, it's where these men are sitting. Just look at the optics of this.
Revamping, reorganizing, new environment, and staying at the top, because I think you guys asked, what does it take to get to the top? That's the easy part. Staying there, yeah? That's the hustle. So staying there now is a whole nother category. And we're not talking about staying there for...
This brother is chatting as if he's right next to the host. Man's got the 20 meter social distance package. But then pre this though, he's got a mic, a handheld mic, and an air mic at the same time.
Revamping, reorganizing, new environment.
That's when you don't trust the mic. That's when you don't trust the mic. But wait, I got the I actually have to play this video. I know 1 second. I have to pull it up because it's a 2-minute AJ video that we actually need to discuss. 1 second. Okay. Anthony Joshua. Hold on. So I'm just gonna play the audio of it, yeah.
Calm.
Where it go? There it goes. 2 minutes. You guys ready? Let's hear this. Adverts, man. Allow it, bruv. Hey, YouTube be comfortable about them 2 adverts running as well. Here you go.
They go back to back.
I belong as a champion. I belong amongst the names of this current generation. And you'll see why. You know, if I didn't fight the best, I may not have lost. And I know people have high expectations of me as well. I think sometimes that's why they're shocked. And I have high expectations of myself as well. But that's why I feel like when I lost the first time, as I said, I never made no excuses. But I have my reason, and I always felt like, cool, you know, I took my loss, but I'll get it back. I knew I'll get it back. So I just brushed that, but this one hurt because I was 100%, no problems, everything was cool.
Did you hear what he just said? Just don't miss it, because you could have blinked and missed it. Basically said, I didn't make excuses, even though there was excuses. Yeah? That's what was said in there. This one, I was 100%. But let's carry on because it gets real interesting. Cool. Let's go.
Went in there and I just lost to the better man at night and it hurt. But it gave me motivation to pull myself out of that position where mentally it killed me. And I fought my way back and I'll redeem myself.
Well, Joshua says he'll be making changes to his preparation for the rematch and he won't try and box with Usyk this time. He also said he'll use new techniques like mental training.
Hold on. Where we heard that one before, fam? He said he ain't gonna... Are you listening? So AJ might have missed Monday Night Smoke as well. But anyway, I'll keep going.
I'm listening to motivational speeches.
Let's focus on quality. You know what I'm saying? Let's focus on what's needed. And it has to come from the top down. I'm the last piece of the puzzle. I'm the last performance. So we're talking about game planning, mindset, brain training, you know, sparring, our approach to sparring, what we're getting out of it. All of these things, dietary needs, sleep, recovery, mindset training in terms of what I'm listening to, not just musically, like, you know, motivational speeches and stuff like that, because this is the biggest stage of my career, fighting for the heavyweight championship of the world. Usyk came up from cruiserweight, great fighter, 12-round fighter. I wanted to box with him for 12 rounds and show, because I was always this stigma is that I can't box. I'm a big, stiff bodybuilder. So I said, all right, cool, let me practice my boxing. Try practice my boxing with Usyk. It didn't go to decision. He won 9 rounds, I won 3. Next fight, I win, 4 more rounds, I win. So let me simplify that matter, and I'll then get on the road to be an undisputed champion again.
That's it.
He does reveal a lot.
A lot was revealed in what he said. A lot of the things that we threw out there, I'll say that for the pod.
So he's playing Sudoku. He's playing Sudoku a lot. Brain training games on the Nintendo Wii. He's listening to YouTube motivational speeches. It's one of those things where it's like, I don't want you to tell the public this. Just give us some takes. Trust me, the guy got me. I'm gonna get him now. Trust me, I'm coming for him. I'm getting my belts back. That's all you need to know, bro. I'd be satisfied with all of that.
Nah, because AJ, I'm gonna open the lines, and I just want to hear. Me and you will chop that bit up in the pod and break stuff down. But I want to hear what the people think of that interview, because it is extremely revealing where AJ is. He said he's at the bottom of the totem pole in regards to what needs to be done next, which lets me know about blame. But anyway, it's not time to pod.
Also, just before we open the lines, there's a video that's I want to hear your opinions on this take. Yeah. This is Ak from Ak and Barak, and he's put a hell of a take out there. I want to see how we respond to this, because it's interesting.
Okay, let's talk about it. When putting the award show together this year, I got a chance to watch a lot of fights. And I've said this before, but I'm going to reiterate it again. We are living in the most talented era in boxing history, and we need to appreciate that. I know a lot of OGs are going to battle me on this, and most of them are not even really going to understand what I'm trying to say. Don't get me wrong. There's been phenomenal talent throughout the history of the sport. And all of those eras had a handful of great fighters at the same time. I'm talking about the Ray Robinson era. I'm talking about the Ali and the Frazier era. And then the Sugar Ray Leonard and Hearn, Hagler and Duran era. And then the Tyson Holyfield era. And then the Floyd Mayweather, Oscar De La Hoya era. And then the Andre Ward era. All of those fighters are going to be amongst the greatest that ever lived. But never before have we had this much talent, skill-wise. I'm not talking about toughness, skill-wise than ever before. I'm talking about the Shakors, the Tanks, the Devin Haney's, the Ryan Garcias, the Lomachenkos, the Teofimo Lopez, the Spencers, the Crawfords, the Ennis, the Charlos, the Canelo, all at the same time. Appreciate what we're living in.
Boy, that's a take. All I'm saying, we want you lot know what we want to talk about. If you want to take us, if you want to veer us left, it's fine. The one thing I'm gonna say to AJ though, before that Usyk thing, is you got to listen to the original motivational speaker, the one that told us, bruv, you got the same 24 hours as Usyk. You got the same 24 hours, just win. Big man, you got just win.
AJ, you got the same 24 hours.
24. Not Big Molly, bruv.
Big Molly?
Big Molly? No.
Not Big May.
Not
Big May.
Put respect on their name, fam.
Don't put Molly May in the corner. Not in the training stuff.
He's got the same 24. Hey, you lot can tell we missed you, innit? We couldn't wait. Hey, let's open the lines, man.
Let's do it.
Invite the people then, bro.
That is funny.
Oh,
bro.
man.
I said the same 24 hours as Usyk, bro.
He's got the same 24, fam.
I don't want to hear it.
I don't want to hear just win. They're simple as well. All right, let's go, man. You look, the lines are open. Hit the link. Start talking to us, man. Let's do it.
Yes, Mohammed. What's going on, bro?
Happy New Year, guys.
Happy New Year, brother.
And
to you guys both. Hope everyone on the chat a good Christmas and a Happy New Year to everyone on the chat as well.
Big up, man.
Well, I don't.
What are you saying? What do you want to talk about? Wherever you want to go, let's do it.
I think there's just a couple of quite a plethora of things, really. Well, since you guys have just mentioned the AJ stuff, I think for me, hearing a lot of things AJ's coming out with, I think he's himself quite confused in the sense he's coming out a lot of things like he needs to learn, and I think the age where he's at and the experience he's gained from the big fights he's been in against a lot of contenders, I think for me, like, don't make it too hard. Like, keep it. I don't want to make it sound too easy. Like, keep things simple, because again, I'm not a boxer. He's in the trenches, training as well as in the ring, but he's just making it sound too hard. And there's another thing that for me opened my eyes, where I saw a few weeks ago, and I know Spencer Fury does his podcast with Tunde Ajayi.
Yep.
I think Spencer mentioned the fact that AJ's got a lot of voices in his corner, and I think he's trying to I'm not guaranteeing it, but he's trying to build his MMA style in the sense of, you know, when they have a striking coach and they have a jiu-jitsu coach, and whereas with AJ, it's like,
this is a big point. You know, making a big point right now. Yeah,
because he's like, because Spencer mentioned just before I think it was before the Usyk fight, he was watching a video, and it's like he's trying to add a lot of things which he doesn't need. Because one thing, what did Tyson I forgot his name, Tyson Fury's trainer, his name just dropped out of my head, but Sugar Hill. And one of the things they did in the second fight when Fury knocked out Wilder was refine it, just use the skills you've got and refine them for that strategy, not add new things to test the out. Because the way he came out speaking about the Usyk fight, trying to box him, it's as if he's trying to test himself. You're trying to win the fight, brother. You're not trying to test yourself. You know what I'm saying? This is an amateur boxing where, you know, one loss, you know, don't, like, you can brush yourself off, come back another day. You lose this, if you lose the second fight, and especially with where the heavyweight division is, with a lot of mandatories that are going to be awaiting. We heard about Joe Joyce being WBO mandatory. We heard Hergovich as IBF. Dylan's been waiting for 3 years. A lot of things are tied up, and mentally, I think if he loses again and he can't have a game plan, I think it will take a lot out of him. And I just, for me, as a fan of him, I want him to come out and say, listen, like, okay, if he's changing his coach, just come out with it, or just stick to a plan. Part of me feels that even today he's still deciding. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, I'm confident in where he is at mentally to actually make firm decisions. I think it's maybe his other decisions, and it's confusing where he wants to go. And I think it's not looking great, especially if you got a massive, like, it's a career-defining rematch and he's making it, adding more pressure to that. That's where I'm coming from, where it stands. Yeah. And, can I just move on to this Dillian thing with Tyson Fury?
Yeah,
literally dominated Christmas in the sense of, like, I saw Frank Warren put on IFL TV, and like, it's kind of, it really pissed me off in a sense, because a part of me is looking forward to more of Dillian versus Fury, just because of that. Because, you know, in previous calls I mentioned about a British dust-up, and like, this is the biggest British heavyweight fight since Lewis Bruno, and I wasn't even born then for that. And like, for me, like, because part of me, I know Dillian probably deserves more money for it, but part of me feels like if I look at Dillian, his age is 33 now, and I don't want him to not, because part of me wants him to have that Fury fight more than a WBC shot. Do you get what I mean? In the sense, I don't want him in the future to regret having because let's be honest, the Chisora fights, the Parker fight, and the future fights he may have will add a lot of wear and tear. I want him sort of preconditioned against the Tyson Fury, and even if it's not for a WBC shot, I'll still want him to fight Tyson Fury, because
should he not just go for the 20? So this is the question, right?
Take the 20%, I say.
You just got to take the 20. Like, if you believe you're the guy, and I get this is a crazy take here, because boxing's all about maxing as much peas as can make, but I think he's got a gamble on himself. In this moment, bro, they made you wait over 300 and something days. Yeah. So yes, I know you're upset about the 20, but this is the situation we're in. Do you want to wait another 600, or I'm taking the 20 now? And if I believe I'm the guy, knock him out. Take the 20, no more discussion, because you'll cancel the deal. You're not gonna get what you want. I get you're angry, but you can't do that.
Enough is enough at this point. Enough is enough.
You lost out on Dylan lost out on the AJ one because AJ offered him a shabby deal as well. Yeah, remember in that there was like
the New York fight that would have been AJ and fight. Yeah,
AJ offered him a mad thing. Take the peas, bro. But again, I don't know what these boxers they got different plans.
No, because what it is, he knows the value of the fight. He knows the value for the fight. Do you know what I mean? And obviously around about the time for the AJ fight, he knows, right, that's a bad deal. Like, I'm gonna go and find it another way. This time round, he's looking at it like, if I go another way, anything can happen. After that Povetkin situation, he don't feel invincible no more. So I don't think he wants to go for a walk around the park again.
You know why?
Mo, give me your last point so we can get other people on the line as well.
I just quickly this point because I saw Luis Ortiz fight the other week, and obviously he the age is getting to him. I think the best way to say it. Yeah. I just want to make this quick point. I feel sad for him in this sense. If you look at the last decade, and it was sort of for heavyweight division, it was kind of, other than David Hayes, that one fight against Klitschko, it was kind of a dead division. But part of me feels sorry for him in the sense that if you in his early 30s, because he didn't have like a big resume, I wish he was a contender for Vladimir Klitschko. Like, part of me, because he's 42 now, like when he was 30, Klitschko was the champion. I wish him, instead of Alex Leapai, Pianeta, who got those shots against Klitschko, I wish he got that shot against Klitschko. It just pains me because he's 42 now and he's going in there, and when he's in his prime age, he would have been fighting a Klitschko, but he wasn't. Like, by the time people were giving him recognition is when Klitschko lost to Fury. It's just that last point I just wanted to make it because I kind of feel sorry for him, because for me at that in 2012-13, if he had that shot against Klitschko, it would be someone finally who got the skills and could potentially diva. That's just my last point, really. But
wicked, man. Listen, Mo, again, amazing call. You brought up some great takes and stuff. So let's just see what other people are saying about them. Let's keep it moving. Bro, we're not going to waste time. Thank you so much. We're going to bring in Lineal straight away, fam. Lineal.
What's going on? Happy New Year. It's 2022 and the math is still mathing.
Come on. The math is still mathing. I need you to respond to this. He changed his name again. You man are done Fino. Yeah, it says
you man are done Fino.
If Dylan takes the 20%, he lets the corruption win.
Correct.
Sometimes the corruption has to win for you to move forward.
I hear it. Do you know what? Do you know why it burns Dylan more? Because isn't there WBC rule basically where it should be 55-45? So Dylan's probably just saying that and like, you've already taken the piss out of me by like making me wait this long. Now you're telling me 20 after there's a ruling that says there can be a possibility of 45-55. I hear his point, because it's kind of like that thing of, brother, boxing, as wonderful as it is, this thing doesn't love you for long. So let me get my peas. And I hear the whole thing of like, like if you believe in yourself, but as bad as it sounds, let's be real. He's probably a realist, knowing that, listen, yes, I believe in myself, but there's also the high possibility I can lose. And maybe he's just being truthful.
I don't think he's thinking like that at all, you know?
I think that's the wrong mindset.
It's the wrong mindset, but it might be true though at the same time. I think he can win, but he also knows he can lose.
You got to understand, the same way we feel like the WBC have a vendetta against Dillian, he knows that too. He's sitting there thinking, I'm not giving you, man, another, like, I'm making it hard for you too now. But at the same time, your career is your career, innit? You need that title shot. You need your shot at the legacy. So, he's gonna fight it in the court situation, the arbitration. After that, no matter what they say, he's taking that fight.
Boy, I hope it happened, because Frank Warren, and this is what Tyson Fury does, you do all that good stuff. Like, you have your first title defense in I don't know how many years, let's not forget that. But then it's like, so you do all that good PR just to ruin himself. I'm like, this guy is like King Sabotager. Like, why? Like, every single time.
No,
it's not. Is it him?
It's him. It's him.
Just imagine,
Go on.
So let's be Tyson Fury for a second.
He tweeted this, bro.
Yeah, that tweet says it all.
Not that part. I'm talking about. I hear a message that it can be a 20% split. I get the most of the pie. Why am I gonna fight that? Why am I?
You're meant to be a fighting man who don't care about money.
Why would I say? I'd be like, why am I gonna? That's not fair. Give him more.
You're meant to be a fighting man that don't care about money.
But are you gonna do
that,
bro?
I'm not saying I'm a fighting man that doesn't care about money. He said he's a fighting man that doesn't care about money. So show that you don't care about money.
Oh, he cares. He cares. That's just branding. It's not. He cares about money.
Why doesn't he ever like demand a title shot and want the big fights or the big names?
Man was saying he was gonna drop the WBC.
Bro, all these boxers care about money. You know, that's the main thing.
Of course, but then that's what I'm saying. But he lied unprovoked. He lied unprovoked. Though no one told him to say that he's a fighting man that don't care about money.
Yeah,
if that's your brand, if that's your brand, then give my man a fair slice. Then, if that is your brand, well, don't brand yourself like that. Then,
yeah, it's branding. Again, he wants to be a man of the people. Remember, Tyson Fury was on trying to be a man of the people, and he was saying anything to garner that love and attention. He's finally got it, and he's being the real him. He wants.
Yeah, no, you're right.
He wants the peace. Well, see, bro, you don't. If you're a man that don't care about money. Gucci down and Versace down with the open shirt. We're not doing that.
To be fair, we know this. We're just pointing out the hypocrisy from him. But at this point, it's just like, man, God be with Dylan, because Fury and the devil himself, Frank Warren, is trying to screw him over.
I think he should understand the situation that he's in. And I'm taking the 20, man. I'm sorry. I know it sounds like a cop out, and it sounds like, but
it is. But yeah, sometimes it depends, innit? Let's see what happens in the WBC ruling, and then I would at least hope for giving him 70-30. I just feel like 20 is such a disrespectful take.
Lennox has just added an interesting point into the mix. Shout out to Lennox. Thank you for the
super chat. Lennox.
Because FYI, they based the split on the pandemic purses for White. 2 lockdown fights, while Fury didn't have any lockdown purses, is a convenient omission.
Nah, he's gonna have to come on and explain that, because I'm not too. No, I kind of get what he's saying.
They're calculating what they need to pay, man, based on the fact on his salary during the lockdown.
They are such.
So he took a mad pay cut, and and they say, well, that's what you get, innit? That's what you've got for your last 2 fights. That's what you're on.
But technically, hasn't Dillian sold out bigger venues in the UK than Fury has? Because Dylan's done the O2 twice. No, more than twice. Dylan's done the O2 with Chisora twice, or was one of them was in the O2, that's for sure. And he sold out the O2. And that's more than Tyson Fury.
Yeah, well, I don't think that's holding up against not being a champ though, for some reason. No,
I'm saying that's why it shouldn't be 20. That's why I said 30 at least is, but to move on from that anyway, the AJ clip, the 2-minute one that KG put. I've got an interesting question, and maybe people can answer this in the freezies. I understand people are saying, "Oh, he said excuses," but what point does a reason not become an excuse?
That's an interesting
because he had, from what many people said behind closed doors, is like they're saying, "Listen, legit stuff happened before the Ruiz fight, and it really messed him up, and it was visible." And yes, he kudos to him. When he could have made more excuses, he said, "Nah, do you know what? This, that, and the third." Because for me, I don't mind if someone says after the fact or after they've won, if they then go, "Do you know what? Yes, I was messed up." If they've lost twice, then you can say excuses. But if they've won the second time, then maybe it's not an excuse. Maybe it's a legit reason.
But then I remember. I don't know if you guys remember the pod that we did. But I was talking about the mind games, and Fury did that to him. Who's the only one that called him a bodybuilder?
Yeah.
Fury's called him a bodybuilder his whole career, and that was all that was in his head. Not everyone else. Everyone was like, "AJ, you can fight, and every time Fury, no matter what, he'd be like, "That bodybuilder, look at him, look at his body, But I'm a fighter."
Yeah, you got to him.
He's rattled him from early, and this is what me and Travis was always talking about, who would win the war of words, or who would win in terms of getting through. Fury's got through without even fighting him. So now AJ's seeing that for me to be good, for me to be on point, I have to mentally train Sudoku settings.
But the thing there's nothing wrong with that because you'll be surprised at what like how many top level athletes work with like mental coaches. But I think the issue is the way that Joshua says it because he keeps on trying to present it in a corporate way. Yeah, and it's just like, brother, this I know. Obviously, all these sponsors are gonna pay you P for the more like correct you come across here. But sometimes it's like, stop being corporate, Joshua. Be AJ from ends. It's okay. Be AJ from ends. Don't always be corporate, Joshua, because it's like he always tries to break stuff down like he's an advert. I'm like, what's this advert voice doing? Like, relax, man. Like, put your shoulders down. But I guess it depends on the media because because that interview was with Sky Sports, wasn't it?
He's talking a certain way. He ain't talking to us like that.
Yeah, I get it. That's the thing. That's why sometimes when he does those type of interviews, depending on the outlet, sometimes I give him a blind because Sky Sports is that clean cut. We don't want to hear no.
You need to have AJ. AJ actually needs to operate. AJ needs to operate in that Sky Sports setting. When we let AJ go off piece, he start talking about Rich Moore and them, man. And
Big Beach.
So what? We need a medium. But the thing is, I like the AJ in the States. I like the AJ I like the zone AJ. That's what I like. I like the zone.
He can talk. He can talk there. But you know what it is? AJ, it's muscle memory. It's muscle memory. It's like when you walk into your workplace and suddenly you just talk different. It's just
hey Dale, how's it going?
Yeah, exactly. Hey Gary, not too bad. you be laughing at this dead pants. But with the man, he switch back. So he gets into that space and he starts doing that. Whereas
I think Sky Sports really brings it out of him. Yeah,
he's mad. It's very mad.
But boy, I was gonna say before I go, another quick one. I love the Charlos, but my goodness, if they make Canelo first Charlo, that's gonna hurt my heart because Canelo about to catch a body, man. And I'm a Charlo guy, but I get it, but payday, innit? He wants that payday. And that's the biggest payday there is out there. And I know Canelo's trying to take the months that Floyd always got stamped on. What is it? Cinco de Mayo and
it's Cinco de Mayo, May and September.
May and September. So obviously I think Makabu, I don't know, maybe that one ain't gonna be ready for them.
I think he might have changed his mind on the cruiserweight mission still.
Yeah, I think he might have like sparred 1-2 heavyweights and said, you know what, in a real fight, this might be long. You know the ones like, even if you block a punch, you're feeling it.
He done the Nigel Ben spine.
Just fear from down under.
I didn't Nigel.
Oh man,
I didn't Nigel give it up in that one.
Nah, that's crazy, bro.
Do you know what? Because speaking of light heavyweights as well, I'm upset for Craig Richards, man. Because Joe Smith Jr.
Oh, bro, and he's chasing some random replacement as well.
The guy's not even in the top 15.
He's clinging onto that belt.
This is why Top Rank is suffering, man.
Yeah, they're in a nuts.
This is why Top Rank suffers because shout out Craig Richards. With all the DAZN cards, I'm surprised I didn't see Craig Richards like mentioned. I'm wondering what Eddie's gonna do with him because that's one of the UK's top light heavyweights, and he needs to start acting like it. I know you want, but
the talk is Boatsy, Craig Richards and Boatsy. So KG's gonna have to, you know what I mean? KG's gonna have to find some non-biased.
It's too early, man. You got to make that for the belt or something. You can't do that for.
It's not too early, bro. These men are both in their 30s. This time now. It's time now for all of it, bro.
No. Boatsy needs to get a belt. That's what it's time for. Boatsy needs to get a belt, bring the belt to ends, and then have a big domestic fight, and that's how you grow the sport in the UK.
I see off the canvas just nothing as well. Listen, we gotta keep it real, lineal. Amazing.
Love as always, man.
Respect, brother.
Bro, sorry, man. We'll never do it. Well, we will do it again. But yeah, not for a long time. Won't go on a break for Christmas. Big up, though, my brother. Come on, stay blessed. All right, cool. OTC.
Yo, what you guys telling me? How's everyone?
What's good, brother?
Trenches, bruv. What's going on?
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year,
It's been a long time. Like, you don't know what you appreciate until it's gone missing, yeah? And when we didn't have Monday Night Smoke, you're like, we're just sitting there like, bro, there's something missing in my life, you know? You know when you have a bland food and you feel like, something's missing from this, yeah? That's what Monday Night Smoke is.
Oh, bro, you're the man.
Thank you so much, man.
And the pod as well. And the pod. Thursday, 7:30, you're sitting there thinking, raw, what's going on? What's going on here? So I'm glad you guys are back.
It's good to be back, man. There's so much going on. I want the first thing I want you to just quickly talk about, because we haven't, was it Ak or was it Barak? Sorry, I don't want to take the liberty.
Ak and Barak.
Yeah, I want you, he talks about the talented era. He talks about having more talent in this era. Do you agree? Because it's shaking up the boxing world. Are you agreeing? You know, he's saying that there's more going on now than back in the day, but then the man them now are not really fighting each other. To say that feels a bit mad, like putting Garcia in there, Haney, Tank, and all these people. You're saying, well, have they shown how good they are? Because where's the test? How can you say that they're more supreme when they haven't? Who's been tested out of those guys?
Do you know what's crazy? The old generation have fulfilled a lot more than the current one. The issue is, I would say the current one probably have a slightly higher ceiling, given they're probably a lot bigger, they're probably a lot more athletic, a lot more like stronger. And what you find is that, especially with the previous athletes, especially the previous boxers, they were rushed in. Like as soon as you were a good prospect or etc., you were just flung into the ring, and then you ended up winning. You ended up winning that belt, and then you picked it up from there. In this current day and age, you have to fight like 20, 30 fights to even get to where the previous fighters were. So I think that if they were to take the exact same route as the previous fighters, you could argue. But right now, it's no, I wouldn't agree with. I think his name is Ak, or no, it's Barak. Sorry,
it's Ak.
It's Ak.
Akin Reyes.
I wouldn't agree with Akeem on that stance. But it's an important one. I'll probably have to do my research on all of the previous fighters on how they've done every little part before I give an overall judgment. But from the outside looking in, I don't agree with it.
Right, do we read this? Chat?
No.
Do we, Travis?
No, read it.
Okay, wicked. Let me do this one. WM says, this narrative we have to feel sorry for White is ridiculous. The man has literally turned down multi-millions to face AJ for 3 belts at Wembley.
Look, I think if Dillian wanted to go back in time, I think he'll probably make a different decision, in my opinion. I think that he probably regrets that.
Because of the Povetkin situation. Like, think about the momentum he would have had on his side if he just smoked Povetkin. Like, he would, no one would be able to talk anything. Whereas that loss, it broke his stock a little bit. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we keep talking about if he goes back in time, bro. In the present, there's 20% on the table.
But you can't. The thing is, when you know the value of this of the whole pie, man can't short you on this thing. You're not new to that conversation. Do you know what I mean? You break it down to casual fans and be like, yeah, cool. That 20% is still 4 mil. It's like, all right, cool. But this man ain't excited over that. He knows I deserve 9 mil minimum. Like, I've done all this stuff, bro. Like, don't tell me that I'm supposed to just get a small piece of this thing.
So did you walk away and not get this opportunity again?
Not at this stage.
That's what I'm saying. That's where we are.
I agree.
We're in a rock and a hard place. Like, it's not like, when you're negotiating, like if you're getting to buy a car, you say, well, I'm going to get another car. You talk to the man, he's talking back, and I'm getting out of here. The only place I won't let you negotiate, we buy any car. They don't care. Not them. It's the car giant. Whatever they say, that's the price, bro. Like, you walk out, and that's what I'm saying. In this moment here, it's feeling like car giant settings where don't fight this thing, because there's no other. What title are you gonna go and get? Are you gonna go this way and like are you gonna start again? You've been fighting, you've been waiting, you put your career on hold, the WBC route, and now what? You can't do that. You can't do that. I'm telling you.
I agree. For me, I know when I heard the offer, I thought, bruv, are you not taking the mic? Like, and I saw what was on the table. The thing is, with their rule book, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. Their rule book, they have a term, a term right at the bottom that says, you know what, we can just make up as we go along. Okay, so they could just say up to 45%, but to be fair, up to 45% could be anywhere from 1 to 45%. So really and truly, I'm gonna have to be honest. Like, in my opinion, I think Dillian White should take the deal. Some people say, yeah, but the money. You can make money in this life until the day you die. You're not going to be in your prime boxing condition anyway, like after this year and after next year. So you've got window of opportunity where you have to just take it and grab it with both hands. I would say if that was Dillian, persist with the arbitration. If you can, squeeze an extra 10%, do it. If not, take the 20% and keep it moving. They're going to try to do him dirty. If he doesn't take it, he's out the WBC ranking for the next 2-3 years. By the time he comes back, he'll be, 36, 37?
On his Ortiz stage. He'll be Ortiz, fam.
Ortiz, add 15 years to that about Ortiz. Don't disrespect Dillian like that.
Well, yeah, absolutely. And with regards to just the AJ scenario, for me, I'm just looking at it from the bigger picture and thinking, AJ, look, when everything is all rosy, you don't realize the chinks in the armor from the get-go. AJ is a bit like a person who is married to the money. They're not married to something like a purpose, etc. When that thing is taken away from you, where are you at that position of time? See, AJ, his version of what motivated him, what gave him confidence, wasn't himself. It was the fans and it was the coach. As soon as the fans, the coach, he had doubts after the Ruiz fight because he introduced other people to the camp, meaning that he didn't fully trust Rob McCracken to take him to his destination. Rob McCracken didn't get the coach. See, Rob McCracken said, you know what? Let me bring some extra eyes, extra expertise, etc. Let me get this person, that person. That's absolutely fine. But he didn't.
He got the coach element as well. Talk to me about
the fans element. Look, I think that the fans and the perception of AJ is at its all-time low, and it started on a decline. To be fair, partly from the Ruiz fight, but it picked up from the BLM movement. I think the BLM movement had took a real hit on AJ, and at the same time, because of the resurgence of Tyson Fury, it became like a pendulum swing. See, at this moment in time, if there was no Tyson Fury, then the perception of AJ will be gravely different. And then after the Ruiz, after the what's it called? The
could be right.
The last fight? After the Usyk fight, I was in the stadium as well. After the Usyk fight, I stood there and I just had to soak it in, and because I was doing I was doing a vlog on that day, and then I was trying to sort of wrap it up. And I was speaking to a couple of the security guards and the people around, and they were just kind of casual fans. And they were just like, you know what? AJ finished. AJ, he's finished. Like, he's gone. And when I've spoken to a lot of casual fans, I'm going to be honest with you guys, they are reciprocating the same information of AJ not being competitive at the highest level. Even the guys in the boxing, who are hardcore boxing fans, believe that he's going to lose against Usyk, and that's it.
The thing is, though, after two losses and a loss like that to Usyk, that conversation would happen regardless of the personal feeling.
No, let's clear this.
I understand what you're saying about the
hold on. I want to
changing.
get involved in this one just for Donny because he said something. OTC is not saying that AJ's finished. He's saying the perception from the casual fans and a lot of fans around the
No, I know what you're saying.
That stadium, yeah, just to clear
but
up.
But casual fans can be very extreme in terms of you've lost twice now. One fight, cool, you come back and won. But this one, it wasn't like you just lost and it was a lucky punch. You got handled for 12 rounds.
But
so man are gonna walk away. Yeah, but what I'm saying is that obviously the narrative and the BLM thing did contribute to that at that time. This time round, if there was no anything like that, these men would have said similar things because casual fans don't really care about all the rest of it.
I agree with you, Trav. But my
fans help with this. Let me jump in there. You know, like in school where there was that guy that's never had a fight, yeah, and no one. Wait, there's that guy that probably had one fight. Nobody else has seen him fight, but they've heard the stuff, so they're adding to the mystique. Casual fans add to the mystique. Certain people talk about Iron Mike Tyson and they've never seen him fight, but all they know Iron Mike, and it helps build. It helps build the narrative, and I think this narrative has been like, I don't know, it's been hampered somewhat because the casual fans are not just saying, "Oh, he's a monster." No one.
But what I'm saying is, it swings back and forward, bro. Anthony Yard was waste before he got the rematch, and now it's the fight. What seeing Yard is back on. Like that's how casual fans operate, bro. So I look at it and I'm like, cool. Yeah, they're gonna say it when he loses. If he comes and he knocks out Usyk in the rematch, oh AJ and Fury, boy, I don't know if Fury's gonna be able to handle that. You know, it's gonna change again.
But Travis, you're like, for me, AJ, that's where he gets his confidence from. He doesn't get his confidence internally. See, when people are cussing Mayweather and spitting at him or whatever, he loves it. No, he loves it. If nobody's talking about Mayweather, I guarantee you he'll perform it pretty much exactly the same. See,
disagree. Not with Floyd. Floyd is a bad example, but I get what you're trying to say.
Yeah. AJ, he needs that love and he needs that appreciation from the public. That's why he doesn't like the people in the boxing industry, because they are adding and they're driving the narrative that AJ is no longer competitive at the highest level. That's why he has a lot of ill feeling towards them. It makes perfect sense. And
that's podding, man. The guys come to pod, fam.
And for me, my favorite part of the
No, I was gonna say I just wish AJ was a self-starter.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? When man just come in on their own energy. Do you know what I mean? Come to ruin the party if that's the energy. Like Usyk Senior was another one like Floyd, where it's like, I enjoy the fact you lot hate me and don't want me to win. So watch this.
Yeah, I don't think AJ's in that same place. Listen, OTC, amazing points, amazing. We're gonna keep it moving, get as many people on here as
very much, guys.
Take care, bro.
Man, stay blessed.
Take care, man.
Lovely. Great points in it. It's true about the fans, man. AJ does care about the fans, and he is motivated by the fans and how they feel about him. You know, oh man, AJ,
let's get Ash in.
Ash.
Big up, you man. How's it going?
Big up yourself, bro.
I just wanted to touch on a few things. I think Lennox has been mentioning it a lot as well in the chat. Like, when it comes to AJ, everyone is an amateur psychologist. Like, every man and his dog. You know, 90% of boxers chat absolute shit, but no one cares because they're not AJ, innit? So, and people keep acting like waffling means, AJ's not in the right headspace. Go watch any AJ interview back when he was a monster. He still chats bare rubbish. He's a waffler, pure and simple. He's a man it's just a stream of consciousness when he talks. So when he talks about brain games, he's not saying the brain games will help him beat Usyk. He's just thinking, what am I doing in camp? I'm doing brain games. It's just a stream of consciousness that he doesn't even know what he's talking about half the time. So equating him waffling means he's like, he's struggling mentally. Like, he doesn't know what he's doing with Usyk. He's always been a waffler.
No, I'm going to push back on this. Yeah. The reason why I might disagree with you on this one is AJ walking into the ring with a piece of paper or with the notes on how to win the fight and asking another trainer, what should I do in this fight? Lets me know mentally it was wrong. And he gives a reveal. He says, listen, I'm the bottom of what needs to be fixed. He said the preparation, sleep, the mindset, the all the other things that everyone else brings to me is important. And that's why AJ's been on the world tour. If we're being real, AJ's been with almost every single trainer. I don't know what he's probably looking for, but I don't know if he's trying to just, because he did say in his other interview, because it's not just all waffle. He said, I'm going to take a little bit from here, take a little bit from there, and take a little bit from here. I don't know if you can cook your dish like that.
No, of course, but not everything's waffle. Some of what he says is pertinent, but then if he went with one trainer, we'd be on here going, why hasn't AJ traveled the world and tried out every trainer? That's just how life is. Like, whatever he does, he can't even spit bars freestyling without someone going, he's not focused on Usyk. Look at him having a freestyle. He can't even literally do anything now without someone mentioning Usyk's name. And the fact he said, I just need to win 4 more rounds, that's basic, like, defense mechanisms, where he's not saying, I'm going to go and outpoint Usyk. He's trying to break the task down as simply as he can. I just need to win 4 more rounds. Because everyone is saying Usyk's a monster and AJ cannot win that rematch. So he's just trying to break it down as simply as he can for himself. He's not saying, I'm going out there to win 7 rounds. He's never said that. That never came out of his mouth. People, again, just putting words into his mouth. Because that's how they feel about Usyk and that's how they feel about AJ. And then with the Dillian White thing, he did turn out AJ for 5 million, but there's like 2 different scenarios. So AJ didn't owe him nothing when he offered him that 5 million because it was a voluntary. So you take that 5 million or peace, I'll just go to America and fight Miller. So it's up to you, innit? Yeah. But with Fury, there's a framework and a legal framework around it, which means that offer isn't acceptable, which means White can fight it. So I agree with the fact that he should go to arbitration, then see what the outcome is. If the arbitration doesn't go his way, he has to take it, because back in the day, if AJ was still champion, he could reject it and say, fuck it, I'll just go fight AJ instead. But AJ's not champion now, and he can never be champion again, potentially. So he can't fall back on the AJ fight within Matchroom if he doesn't get the WBC shot. If he doesn't get the WBC shot, he may never got a title shot ever. So he has to take it. Whereas he had AJ as a backup plan always before, because that fight could always be done. But if Usyk handles him again, then AJ hasn't got belts either. So did Yard, Wilder?
I don't know where. I don't understand it. What do you mean?
Did Yard or Wilder conduct themselves like AJ?
Everyone conduct themselves differently. Wilder's crazy. Yard's
they're all different personalities.
AJ's a waffler. Like, it is what it is. How many times can we go over an AJ interview and go, "Oh, he waffled there. He's not making sense. He's never makes sense." So it's time we just deal with it, innit? And move on. Unless he says something crazy or ridiculous, then it is what it is. And yeah, he contradicts himself. He does all these things because he's just a stream of consciousness during interviews. He's not comfortable, so he just chats some rubbish. But it doesn't mean he can't go in there and win the match. At the end of the day, it's all about what's in his mind and who the coach is and what the game plan is.
The funny thing is, when you got this many voices in your ear, when it comes down to the crunch, you need to just have that person that you trust. And the issue is, if you're on this tour, it's a load of different voices, and which one is the real voice? Which is the voice that I have to listen to?
Well, the final trainer,
the
final trainer will be that person that gets to be, the final voice. But the issue is, the whole process has been so transparent. It's like, bro, we're seeing you scout these guys. Like, I hope he's not waiting for people to be like waving in the comments and saying, yeah, this is the guy, this is perfect, for him to make a decision. That's
the issue as well. And as you say that, Travis, I'm talking about being in the trenches, because Usyk took him into the trenches, yeah. And then you might go back in that moment of muscle memory in that place when you're getting hurt. You might think about what that one coach said in that one sparring, and he says, you will be good if you do this in this moment, or your body naturally does that because he taught you that, and it stayed with you. So I'm just saying that it gets a bit nuts when you just have that many different voices. That's all I feel is a bit. I don't know. I haven't really seen someone.
Fighters, fighters are going to take from every experience of everything they've ever done when they're in the fights. So that doesn't necessarily take away. Do you know what I mean? Unless he's sharing camps, as in like 1 week with my man, 1 week with you for the whole 12, that's when it gets stupid. But when you're in a steady 3-month camp with one trainer, you're not going to be, your mind isn't going to be floating around to random sessions like that.
It could also just be Usyk's better. Like whatever AJ does, whatever AJ turns up, like this guy is a special fighter. Like maybe that AJ who boxed, if he could beat 90% of heavyweights on that night in Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, but he ain't beating Usyk, and maybe he never will. It's like we also need to just remember, like he's up against greatness here, and that can easily just happen again. He could come in with the perfect game plan next time, with the right coach, with everything, and he could still get knocked out. So how long can we go on about mentality then before we move on to Usyk? Do you know what I mean?
No, you're right. You're 100% right. But you know what? You know why it stayed on AJ for so long? Is because like he's so much bigger than him. He's so much. I mean, those advantages. So you say to yourself, if you lose by doing your best, like putting your best foot forward, then we go straight to Usyk. But if we're like, bro, you tried to fence with this brother that's way smaller than you and you lost, you cannot do that again. If you come in and he swings for the hills and he gets stopped out because he's gassed, then you say, bro, all right, Usyk is the man.
For sure. I don't want to hog up too much time.
Right, man. Listen, bro. Ash, thank you so much.
Take care, man.
Amazing call as always, man. These guys just be coming with the real stuff here. There's a new caller on here. Should we bring him in? Let's Lewis M and Callum as well. Still,
sure.
All right, Lewis.
What's going on, Lewis?
Hello. Thanks for having me. First time on it. Can you hear me all good?
Yeah, bro. Sound quality is lovely, mate.
Nice. Good to hear.
Talk to us. What's up? What's on your mind?
It's so interesting because I was at the first Joshua Usyk fight. It was a fantastic event. It was wonderful. But I feel like this is going to be Joshua's defining fight, even if he goes on, maybe not becomes undisputed, because if he becomes undisputed, then of course that's the thing that he's been looking for his whole career. But I feel like he's on the verge of becoming part of some very exclusive clubs. If he wins, he's a 3-time heavyweight world champion. How many 3-time heavyweight world champions have there been? 4, maybe 5? There's only been a handful of time when someone's won the heavyweight title back in the immediate rematch. He's already done it once. He might be the only person to do it twice. But I just think that, the anticipation for this.
That sounds like a base question still. Base would be like, hold on, let me quickly ask this guy. Base, how many times has it been done, fam?
What?
How many people have defended? Is what it is. How many people had that many won the belt back 3 times?
Yeah, 3-time heavyweight champion.
There's only been 3 heavyweight champions that have won it more than twice. So it's Holyfield, it's Ali, and it's just those 2. Those are the only 2 that have won it more than twice.
There you go. Speak to you in a bit, bruv. That's what I'm saying, bruv. Just on
that's the thing. That's what I'm thinking, is that if he does this, he's just on the verge of accomplishing some very, very great things. Because I think he's definitely not an all-time great yet. But I think he needs to. If he isn't gonna beat Fury, I personally think he would beat Fury, even now. But I think even if he goes on and loses to Fury, I think he needs to cement his place as the second best of this generation. And of course, you can't do that unless you win the rematch with Usyk.
Yeah, I get you. So you still think he beats Fury?
Yeah, honestly, I think Fury. You can be a come forward pressure fighter. You can be a volume puncher. You can be a quote unquote power puncher. You can do that against a relatively light, bad footwork, quote unquote one trick pony with Deontay Wilder. I'm not sure you could.
They're just saying Lennox Lewis has done it as well. Sorry, just to.
Oh yeah. I think Holyfield. I think Holyfield has the record. I think he did it 4 times, and I think he should have been 5 because I think he got robbed versus Valuer, but that's neither here nor there. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But what was I saying?
So then, what do you call it?
You're talking about AJ beating Fury based on the styles.
Yeah, I think that Fury, with this new style that he's got, he's only ever done it against one person, and that's against Deontay Wilder. And I feel like if he tries to do it even against, I'm not picking Dillian White if the fight were to happen, but I feel like that kind of a style would cause him a lot of issues with the other elites of the division.
What you say? You're not picking what's that? Dillian White to beat Fury?
No, I can't pick. I'm a bit of a White fan, but I can't pick him to beat Fury. I think he would give a really good account of himself, but I can't pick him.
You know what? We can't do nothing with that, bro. It's that one there's no wiggle room. Even I was like, he's made it. But lastly, on the Dillian situation, though, are you with Dillian? Do you feel sorry for him? Do you feel like what's your vibe on it?
Yeah, I think that he could definitely wiggle himself into a little bit more. I think he's been offered either 5 or 5.5. I think he could get 6, 6.5. I think he's definitely got a little bit of room to capitalize on that. But I think the problem with the arbitration is one of her and Dillian White's team's arguments is that they want to be accommodated for the amount of time that they've had to wait in order to get the title shot, and they want that to be reflected in the split. The problem is, legally speaking, that's not the strongest argument, because the people that are going to pay that to you, that are going to pay back what you think you're owed, is going to be from the Tyson Fury purse. But realistically, it's Tyson Fury, the guy that's been taking away the shot from you, as opposed to the WBC. So I think, if he's offered 6, 6.5, who am I to say? I'll personally take it, but I think that would reflect what he's worth.
We are all taking
exactly. Yeah.
Oh man,
100%.
Yeah, listen, Trav, any more questions?
No, that's good, bro.
Wicked, man, listen,
great first time caller, man.
Amazing first time call.
And I love your sound quality, bro.
Thank you.
I love your sound quality, man.
Oh, thanks, man. Thank you. Hey, sorry, just before I go, I'm sorry if it's already been addressed, but I had a ticket to come to the end of year event that you guys were going to do.
Did you get your money back?
Because I think, did I see it was going to get rescheduled, or? I think I did. Yeah. I think I got it.
Okay, cool.
Good.
Yeah. End
Is
of
it going to get rescheduled at all?
At the end of today's pod, we're going to announce it.
Oh, it's been announced. Oh, okay. No spoilers. But yeah, thank you guys so much for having me on. It's been a blast. Thank you.
Wicked, bro. Man. What cool. Hey, that's awesome.
All right, let's get the. I think Callum. Wait, Callum was next. Where's Callum?
There you
go. Callum, what's going on, bro?
Evening, guys. Hope you're well. KG, first and foremost.
Oh, shut up, bro. Shut up.
Travis, nice to meet you.
Likewise, bro. Likewise.
Liverpool fan. And this guy that always appears when I'm not in the best of states, bro. What are you going to say, bro?
I honestly just wanted to come up. I've never been able to come on the channel, so I just wanted to big you lot up, man. Love what you lot are doing. Boxing fan as well, so love what you guys are doing. I've just got one question.
Go on.
I personally think Fury's the best heavyweight, but I also think he's been in a fortunate situation that AJ's kind of done a lot of the heavy lifting, whereas now Tyson's kind of reaping the rewards. If AJ loses to Usyk and doesn't get the Tyson Fury match, or they don't fight, do you think it will go down as a situation where this whole generation of heavyweights will kind of never really be seen as a top echelon because Wilder never fought Joshua, Joshua never fought Fury, and is that just going to hinder the whole heavyweight division?
I don't think this heavyweight division or this era will ever be seen as top echelon anyway. I don't think anybody holds it in that type of esteem, but what will make it get some respect is big fights, big difficult fights. Like Fury and Wilder, what they did in that last fight, that stayed in the minds of people. If Fury and AJ mix it together and they have a classic war, that's going to make people be like, rah, this was at least exciting.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I don't think they're ever going to be seen as top echelon. No way. No way.
No, so this era is weird, bruv. Who we got? Like, who's our main guys in this era?
Here's those three. Fury, Josh, and Wilder, isn't it?
Well, Usyk has entered. He's entered the chat.
Hey, he has. Hey, but Callum, he's only beaten Joshua so far.
Yeah. I beg you, tell him that, fam. That indicator, fam.
He pulled over and hit the head.
Yeah, I pulled over.
You got the same 24 hours, fam. Turn left, fam. Come on.
You got me with that one, Cage. I'm not gonna lie.
I could, bruv. That man said, "Oh, come on, man." Anyway, sorry, bruv.
But I agree with you guys in terms of it not being a top echelon. But I just think we'll always look back on this era and think, what could have been? And I dare I say it, without AJ, Fury, and Wilder, if they were to retire in the next couple of years, I don't know where the heavyweight division goes.
It goes back to obscurity until somebody becomes a personality again. Like, we might actually have to wait for somebody to come from the Olympics and win gold and then start the AJ journey again with a new face. Because it's tough to make somebody the guy. Like, there's a lot that goes into making somebody a star. Like, and these guys won't realize it, that they've been riding the coattails of AJ for so long. The minute AJ leaves this moment, it gets crazy.
Yeah, I hear that.
It's just,
it's annoying. But look, I'm gonna go back to driving. Just want to say a big up to you lot, man. Please keep doing what you're doing. Smash the like button, everyone. And yeah, KG, I'm sure we'll see each other soon as well when we beat you again.
No, brother. Have a nice one,
man. All right, let's get the juice in.
I need to get out of here, man.
Juice, what's going on, bro? You need to get out of here. What are you saying?
Hello?
Just talk to me.
What's happening, bro? We can hear you, man.
Oh, no, sorry. I'm doing the same thing as Thing. That's why I dipped in and dipped out. Yeah, I was going to say, with the AJ situation, yeah, I agree with the earlier caller. He's just waffling, isn't it? And I'm a bit concerned at the lack of experience of the trainers that he's looking at. I think Ronnie Shields, simply because of the experience. I'm not sure about Robert Garcia. Like, heavyweight training is different to other fighters. You need people who specific, like, train heavyweights or cruiserweight. You can't just jump to a man because he's training a good welterweight. I think that's going to transition to you. Like, you need a Pacific heavyweight trainer. Like, you need to look for experience. I'm a bit concerned by that.
I don't think he's waffling. You lot keep saying that AJ's waffling. AJ tells us exactly what he's doing. AJ actually said before the Usyk fight, I'm going to box him. We were all like, wait, you're going to do what? He goes, yeah, I'm going to box him. I'm going to show you that AJ was telling us from the beginning of time he's coming to box. So we need to listen to AJ when he talks. He's not mad. I don't want to give AJ this thing of he's a waffler. AJ knows exactly what he's talking about. And when he said he's going to go and try different coaches and go all over the place, that's what he's doing. He's not told everything he said. He's actually working towards. Now, the only thing that is there with him is he said when he lost to Ruiz, he had a good enough excuse. He actually said in an interview, mentally losing to Usyk, it hurt him, it broke him. He said that. It's in the interview, like you have to hear it clear. It's there. So this is what AJ's dealing with. So when he says, I need to brain train and I need to work on these things, it's trying to get over that loss. He always knew from the beginning of time, Ruiz was never on my level. AJ knew that from early. That's why you saw the interviews when he broke down the fight and he watched the fight and said,
but he didn't fight like that in the Usyk fight. I remember watching the fight around round 7, round 8. He wasn't fighting like a man that was losing. He was fighting like a man that didn't really care. That wasn't a performance of someone who was desperate at heavyweight. You've watched boxing, it. When heavyweights are desperate, they just go for it, innit? He could have gone for it. Many times in that fight, there was times I think, I wouldn't say he hurt Usyk, but he got his attention when Usyk kind of backed off. And then he wouldn't follow up. You can see the fear of, I don't want to get counterpunched. You can't be a professional boxer and have that fear because you're not going to be anyone. You're not going to be anyone. If you keep having the fear, you're going to get counterpunched and stopped. Yeah,
Ash made a good comment. He just said he was fighting like a man who knew he had a rematch clause.
Yeah, but even with what's he going to do different in the rematch? What's he going to do different in the rematch if he fights like that again? Nah, man. He was fighting like a man that was like, I don't want to get counterpunched and get knocked out. That's what he was fighting to me. Like after about 8 rounds, because he didn't go for it. There was no point where he said, I'm just going to go for it. If that was Wilder, yeah, I'm not saying Wilder would have won, but he would have swung to the fences to try to take Usyk's head off. Yeah. I didn't see that from AJ. I didn't see that kind of heart. That's what's concerning me.
That's the one thing Wilder proved, that he'll just keep
That's what's concerning me. It was there. AJ had that heart against Ruiz even when he lost, and he had it against Klitschko. I think mentally, after Ruiz lost, I don't know if he can go to that place again. He doesn't want to get knocked out again.
Again, I still always believe, that AJ never rated Ruiz and he had his own demons. Remember, we never talk about what his dad said, but it all rings true. Now I hear it back. I can't wait for the book to come out where AJ actually tells us exactly what was going on in that fight and why.
Listen, AJ needs to do an interview with you, man, or sit down with Ade. There's nothing in his contract. Don't say that. AJ knows who you are, bro. He's not that far gone. He knows who you are. He can do an interview if he wanted to.
Yeah.
So that's why sometimes I don't feel sorry for him in them. I used to, but now I'm like, nah, man. You can do an interview with who you want to, bro. You're almost worth 100. You can do an interview with whoever you want to and sit down. He could be like, listen, you, man, yeah? You lot can come. I'm not saying you lot can come to my house and sit down 2 hours and we do an interview. Bare people would do that if he wanted to do that. It's him that's doing it. I don't feel sorry for him now at this stage in his career. He has the money. It's not like if he retired tomorrow, he's going to be like, oh, I could have. Of course, there's more money to make, but he's comfortable now. He can do an interview with whoever he wants to do an interview with. He can sit down with Ade. He can sit down with Spencer. He can sit down with nobody behind the camera and just do it on his YouTube channel.
This guy's talking the talk.
So at this point, I don't feel sorry for him when he's like trying to be political. I just think I don't know what his fear is in it at this stage in his career. And if anything, if he did do an interview with you and then people try to be like, oh, he said this, I'll be like, listen, do you want me to list the things Tyson Fury has said? Simple.
Come on now.
Don't want to say nothing. So there you go in it. Like, so I don't feel sorry for him when it comes to that in it. And the thing to do with quickly on like Dillian White and the purse thing, and people saying you should just accept it. Yeah, I hear that argument, but I want to hear that same energy with Spence and Crawford in it. So Spence can say, look at my purses, look at the pay-per-view I've done. You should be taking 30% in it. Your own promoter told you you're not making him any money. You've lost money on all your pay-per-views.
Dickhead, fam.
I want to hear that. I want to hear that same argument.
Bob Arum needs to allow it, fam.
I want to hear that same argument, innit? That's why
it's slightly different, though. It's slightly different, though.
That would make sense. It's not different. You've got someone who's legitimately making. You've got a man who did 50,000 in a stadium, in Dallas Stadium, right? And he's saying 60-40, and people are arguing that that's a form of ducking. In that situation, you hit the. Imagine Eddie Hearn came out and said, Anthony Joshua has lost me money on every single show I've done with him, and then AJ goes to Tyson Fury when they fight. I want 50-50. How would that work?
That's wild.
That's wild. Like, You don't make no money,
but
bro.
Dillian ain't asking for 50-50 though. He's asking
Dillian's
for what he's
asking
entitled to.
Exactly. He's the interim champion. I've been paying sanctioning fees for what? It says in the rules the interim champion is supposed to get 45%. What have I paid those sanctioning fees for? That's outrageous, isn't it? So that's the only reason I would say I would take it.
WBC.
Because I've been paying sanctioning fees for 2-3 years.
There you go.
All I want, I've been paying. It's not like he just came in this situation. I've been paying sanctions, and you are going to do that to me now. Come on, man. But if he does take the 20%, he should just take it. And then I'm not promoting. If I was him, I'm not promoting the fight. I'm just not saying nothing in any press conference. I'm just quiet till the day of the fight. I'm not promoting the fight.
Kill them with
just
silence.
Be quiet in it. And then the day of the fight, if you win, then you talk. If not, I'm not saying nothing. If I lose, I'm not doing no after interview. I'm not doing the interview before. I'm not promoting the fight. Take the 20%. Done.
Yeah, I like that energy,
bro. You're the man.
All right, cool, man.
Take care, brother.
Oh, what a cool, bro. What a cool. He came in with the real energy, fam. He said AJ needs to sit down. He can sit down with anyone, fam. The piece is there, fam. Trav, what are you saying? Capricorn base?
Yeah, I think we got room for one more caller still.
Yeah. Let's try and let's bring on both of these guys then. Let's bring on Capricorn Brace and the teacher if we can.
Oh yeah, let's run it. Yeah.
All right, cool. Maestro.
What's going on, guys?
I'm gonna get rid of this background thing so we can see us all. What's going on?
Yo, to let you know, I'm having issues with StreamYard, yeah. So if it starts echoing or you hear bare stuff on my side, I'll jump out.
Yeah, okay, no problem. No problem. All right, we're in.
My man right there.
Come on, let's read. Travis, go and hit me with that super chat, bro.
Off the canvas says, why was he concerned that people thought he was stiff? Why does he care if he's seen as a throwback fighter? His confidence doesn't come from within. Very interesting point there.
True. All right, listen. A lot's been said. This evening. I want to start with you, Maestro. What? Just your thoughts on just so many.
Well, the last thing is the first thing I wanted to talk about because the last brethren that was on here said something that I hear a lot of people say, including Ade Oladipo. But it's actually not true. Like, if you look at the WBC rules, it does not say that the WBC interim champion is entitled to 45%. If you read it, it says up to 45%. Up to can technically mean 0.1% up to 45%. So there's a big difference between up to something and that actual number. And I mean, here's the thing. How much do you think Usyk made against AJ in the last fight?
I didn't even check.
I think it was about 6.
Let me tell you this. Let me 6 million. This is what he just. It was about $5 to $6 million. Which, by the way, if you do the math on what AJ made, because AJ didn't make $20 million for that fight, he made it substantially more than that. And Usyk got, if you do the math as a percentage, well under 20%. So let's just keep it consistent. Andy Ruiz,
was that from the purse? Was AJ's money all from the purse, or was that just from back end or cross promotion?
Well, when we're talking about splits and what people are entitled to, we're just talking about the total pot, right? And then we're talking about the share of that pot. So AJ's guarantee is higher than what Fury's been making his last few fights. Fury's been making record high paydays for him in his last couple fights against Wilder. He's been making about $20 million, right? So if you look at this as a $25 million fight, $20 million to Fury is 80% to 5% is, sorry, to 5 million is 20%. Now, I'm not saying what a man's worth. I'm just throwing out the numbers for you. Now, AJ fought Andy Ruiz Jr. in a rematch, mind you, where Andy Ruiz took 3 titles into the ring as the champion in the dunes. AJ made minimum $70 million for that fight. Andy Ruiz, if you look at the total purse, made about 15 to 16%. 15 to 16%. And he held 3 titles going into that rematch. Mind you, also, Dillian White was offered well under 20% to fight AJ when he turned down to AJ.
Let me stop you now. Let me just
go
get
for it.
based in. Let me get based in and just base his thoughts on this and just what Maestro's bringing to the party.
Well, to basically what Maestro's saying is correct to a degree, but the difference being in the WBO rules, they base it on what the last three purses are. The WBC don't have that as a precedent. So regardless of whether Dillian earned 300,000 in his last two fights and Tyson Fury earned 30, their thing is based on general percentages. Now in their actual rules, it says that they've got 3 different percentages that they will work to potentially, like if they decide that they want to change. They say that it should always be 30-70 or 70-30. If you're mandatory, it should, or it's and if it's interim, it says it's 45%. I'm actually looking for the actual rule now. But basically, what they do say is we have the right to adjust this under special circumstances, like if someone's maybe a big high draw than someone else. But then they even say there, in those instances, there's only 3 characteristics. There's only 3 denominations we accept. One is 70-30, one is 60-40, and then one is 55-45. And only on the most special of circumstances can it be 50-50. Like, this is actually predicated in their rules to say that. So even the fact that they've offered 80-20 in the first place goes against the own rules that they've got in their own sanctioning body.
Well, the thing is with the WBC,
it's personal at this point.
Yeah, that's absolutely correct. But we got to also remember a couple things about the WBC, right? The WBC was sued for millions of dollars, right? And went bankrupt due to a ruling that they made many years back when they basically had a champion, took his title away, and just gave it to Roy Jones. Now, this was back in 2003 when Rocci Gianni won a $30 million judgment against the WBC. Do you know what the WBC did after that so that this would never happen again? They inserted language like up to in their rules. They inserted language like at the discretion of the WBC. So that they cannot be held liable for this kind of stuff in the court of law anymore, because they've been there, they've done that, they don't want to do it again. So if you actually read to the letter of their rules,
for Dillian as well, you have to be honest. Dillian's been calling them out for so long. He's called out this organization, said they're corrupt, said they're this, said they're that. They don't want to. This is true. They don't want to do business the way he wants it. So this is where
but you know, you're right. It is where they are. And the other thing too that people have to separate is the word mandatory from the word number one, as in contender, because Dillian was number one for all of that time, but he was not mandatory. In fact, he didn't want to fight Luis Ortiz for the mandatory spot, which is why Luis Ortiz got it. And a fight fell through between him and Dominic Brazil, which was, again, a mandated fight by the WBC. See, people often forget that the WBC number one has to fight to get that mandatory spot against a number 2 or number 3 or number 4. So, look, I'm not siding with either person in this debate. I'm just saying that a lot of the reality of the situation is not what I'm actually hearing when I hear people just make blanket statements about the WBC rules, or he's been mandatory for 1,000 days, or, you know, a lot of this other stuff. And again, if you're a Dillian White fan, that's fine. If you think he should be getting more than $5 million, that's fine. But somebody's got to explain to me why he should be getting paid more than Usyk was to take on AJ in a fight that's going to be less lucrative overall than AJ Usyk at Tottenham Hotspur's arena. That was a much more lucrative fight.
What I'll say to that, and I agree with you in principle, because AJ is a cash cow, so Usyk should realistically have been earning more. But the difference between them, as I just said, because the WBO's rulings are based on purses, then they have to work out a split that is fair to the challenger to give them their highest purse, but not to take extra value away from the from the champion, especially if they're of a higher commercial value. But the WBC, nowhere in there, even though they have language like at our discretion and blah, 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 they've got nothing in writing that predicates that as being a way for them to determine purse splits. That's the only reason why it's not the same argument. I understand the argument and I agree with it, but it's not the same based on that principle.
I want to stop you guys here. I want to stop you guys and park this argument, and I'm going to go straight over to Pace, because we want to talk about wrap it up with AJ. There's been a lot of AJ conversation today. I played the AJ interview earlier, the 2-minute piece. Pace, what's just your thoughts on what AJ said and just what you've heard tonight?
My main thought on AJ is everything just seems, everything's like quote unquote a process, but everything's taking way too long. If you're gonna have the new trainer, like, unless you literally had that person in the background the whole time and no one's known, like, hurry up in it. If we're talking about April date for the fight, like, you need time now to bed in with this new person. Because ultimately, if we look at, for instance, Joseph Parker, right, very first Chisora fight, pretty much looked exactly the same as when he was with what's his name, the New Zealand guy. His name's gone out of my head, but he looks pretty much the same. Like nothing really changed. All of a sudden, you had this longer time, and we all saw the big difference in the rematch. It's the same. It was the same when Lennox Lewis with Manny Stewart, and it's like, he certain times he was reverting to type. He wasn't really pulling the trigger until something clicked several fights down the line. So if you think you're going to get the total game plan and everything in 3 months, you're in for a rude awakening. So whatever you're doing needs to be done, and just stop with all of the. I mean, look, everyone's entitled to a holiday, but let's be fair. You knew that your fight date was likely going to be 7 months. You've had 3.5 months already. Holiday is done. Like, let's get to work.
That's real talk.
100%. So Maestro, what's your thoughts on?
Well, it's funny because my brother Kenny T that does Mano a Mano live with me Monday nights 8 p.m. Eastern. Tune in if you can. Shameless plug. He asked me about what I thought about Floyd training AJ, because apparently Floyd's got that photo where he's giving AJ advice.
That's right.
You see, the problem with Floyd is Floyd doesn't have any experience training a fighter on a championship level. In fact, I don't even think he's got any experience promoting anyone in a fight as big as this, of this magnitude, of an AJ Usyk 2. And when you look at Floyd's essentially like the soccer mom or football dad, as you call him over there, football mom, screaming from the side of the pitch, yelling instructions at the kid, or trying to overtalk the coach of the youth squad. I don't even know how Calvin Ford allows it, to tell you the truth. I mean, he's trying to give instructions. This man's coming in from the corner, all overbearing, speaking over him. So I need somebody the opposite of that. I need someone who can devote his entire attention to AJ, and who's not about to fight guys on helipads in the Middle East. Like, I need someone who's also a very offensive-minded, let's go get the kill type coach, which, to be honest, is not a Virgil Hunter. The guy that I actually think would be a perfect coach for AJ is Mark Ramsey out of Quebec in Canada. For those of you who don't know, that's Artur Beterviev's coach. That's a guy that's coached Oscar Rivas.
Okay.
That's a guy that's coached John Pascal in the past. That's a guy who trains offense. We're going for the KO. It's a guy who you never hear from him. He's not on social media. He's not doing a lot of interviews. He's humble. He's all about his fighter. He's devoted 100%. And also, AJ needs to be out of the English media market. He needs to be isolated. If he's going to have such a short camp, it's got to be out in seclusion. We're better than Quebec. Go train in the cold. Go train out in the sticks in Quebec, out in the snowy mountainous areas. You fly in your sparring partners. You work with Mark Ramsey. You get that killer inside you, because we need the AJ that knocked out Martin. We need the AJ that knocked out Dillian White. We don't need the AJ that was dancing around on his toes against Andy Ruiz in the rematch, or is trying to get a decision against Carlos Takam or Parker.
Let's not forget.
against
sorry, Marshall. Let's not forget that Usyk just put out the picture of him like training in the snow. Like he's on some Rocky IV thing at the minute. So like you need to be on that level of mindset if you want to win this rematch.
Hey, that snow training is real, fam.
Madness,
bro. I don't know, man. And the funny thing is, AJ feels. I believe AJ feels that he got outfought in thinking in that fight, because remember there was both doing their chest thing. They was all trying to mess around to say who's the deepest in here, who's got the edge, who's got a mental edge, and he feels like he just bested all the way around. And now that's what he's dealing with. That's what he's dealing with.
You can't beat a boxer that's faster than you. You can't be in a boxing match. I mean, where you're gonna get counter punched, you're gonna get straight lefts over your jab, where he's gonna be moving at angles and hitting you on the retreat. I mean, AJ, he was never gonna win a boxing match against Usyk. It just wasn't going to happen. So, you know, he's gotta find a different version of himself, something akin to AJ 1.0, not the AJ 2.0. AJ 3.0 is got to be more like 1.0, but a little bit more savvy, you know.
1.5.
And it's got to be what it's got to be. Yeah, and it's got to be with a better coach. I'm sorry, than Robert McCracken. You know,
100%.
It will be though.
So, part of the plan. Robert, he's looking for a new guy. Robert McCracken is not part of the plan.
But to be fair, I also think he needs more than 3 months for this project too. Like that's a big ask. You know, unless he's been working in secret this whole past few weeks. I don't, you know,
and I don't think he has. He would have told us. But guys, listen, thank you, man, for real.
You guys, again, one more time, quickly plug yourself. Let them know where they can find you.
Yeah, you can find me on my channel, Maestro A Boxing. You know, I'm gonna try to go live a lot more this year. I was supposed to go up to cover Joe Smith this weekend, but with the fallout, I'm not going up there. It's not worth it. But
that's a ridiculous replacement.
Right? I got plans to go to more fights. You know, already booked my trip to Cuba in February when I got a little break from school. So I'm gonna be going to the Caribbean and you know, connecting with the coaches out there and with the next wave of top Caribbean boxers off of that island. So stay tuned for a lot of good stuff this year, and make sure you check out my brother Base the Kid too. His channel's he's doing his thing.
Yeah. And Base, go on, you know what to do. Plug the thing, and you're gonna see Base with us a lot. So you lot watch out for that still. But yeah, go on.
Indeed. Yeah, so everyone just have a look at some of the new content I put up on my channel, Base the Kid, the Hardcore Casual. Had a bit issue with the last couple videos trying to upload them, so there might be a little bits here and there that are a bit techie, but bear with me this year. Everything's gonna start looking a lot nicer.
Amen. Lovely. Listen, big up to the man. Sorry, let me do it right. Trav, well done, bruv. We're back,
guys. Just to let you know.
On.
Just to let you know, we had an event scheduled for before Christmas.
Yes.
We rescheduled February 19th. Watch along viewing party for the Amir Khan Kell Brook. Tickets are available tomorrow at 10 a.m. The tickets will be available.
10 a.m. It is limited tickets. As you can see, there's more people here than we have tickets. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. So make sure, like, you want to watch the fight. That fight is going to be an absolute madness. It's a fight that you can't afford to miss. Come and watch it with us. Our first watch along was incredibly crazy. This is the real live watch along. Please make sure you're there with us.
It's going to be mad. Tickets available tomorrow at 10 a.m. It'll be on all our socials. You won't miss the link. Trust me. Get yours as soon as you can because they're limited, like you say.
There you go. Brother, guys, ring the bell, fam.
Nice. Peace. We out.
Peace. Let me put up the main picture. Where is it, man? Hold on. Let's put some respect on Big Molly as well, fam. See you later. Peace.